pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ready for start our meeting, August 3rd, 2015.
If I get up, Sally, give me a nudge, because I had a little bit of pain today, so I had to take some good stuff. All right.
Okay. Public comment, a minute, community update. Any public comment?
Yeah, Ed Schindel, just wanted to follow up. I know the fire team had offered you guys a tour of the fire scene, and they kind of got out of here before you guys had a chance to do it, and it was raining. So I still want to offer that. If you guys want to go up there, I would be willing to take you up.
Yes, we do. I'll just
So-
speak for the group, I'm sure they would too. Because I really would like to see it.
So anytime you guys want to do that.
When's
Okay.
convenient for you?
Anytime except 9 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay.
What about next Monday, right after lunch? Or at 9 o'clock in the morning before we meet?
Yeah, it'd probably take a little over an hour to go up there and
Yeah.
get back.
Better have it
8 a.m.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Would 1:30 work?
That's fine.
I was just thinking
I
we
guess
had
we could leave
What's
it
our
to you.
agenda look like for next week?
Yeah, noon works too.
There's nothing in the afternoon.
Oh, good, then we can do it then.
Yeah,
1:30,
Or we could leave it at noon
and take a
and
sack
take it,
lunch?
just take something with us to eat, is it?
can
What?
we, maybe let you know this afternoon? Here's my thinking. If we, don't have anything that gets on the agenda at 1:30, we could very well go past noon with taking care of business and not having to come back. And then, it would just be a little bit more clean.
Sure, that's fine. Like I said, I'm available anytime, so.
Yeah, we don't have anything at 10:30, and then from 11 to 11:30 is all open too. So,
Okay, well, I'll plan on coming to the meeting next week then and see how things look.
And we can call you this afternoon
Okay,
after we see how the agenda shapes up,
sure,
if that works.
that'll work.
How many said, so, Ed?
My cell is 949-5535,
I knew that.
and the office number is 266-5535.
I need yours at 949.
5535,
553,
then the office is 266-5535.
You
Can't
fought
tell where-
bravely.
Can't tell where that phone number came from, can you?
His cell is the same as the house phone.
Yeah. That was a good idea when they had that to start with.
You can't get it that way now, my understanding.
Yeah.
But I can't complain, my number's just one off. But I've had that phone for a long time.
Yeah,
I thought you always get to whatever number you want,
Uh-uh.
they changed that.
yeah, pretty much anymore they do. I don't know what the big deal is, but. Yeah,
They
you
can
kinda
or
give-
cannot,
They cannot.
that's right.
They kinda give you whatever they want to.
Okay, yeah, we'll get back to you then.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks, Ed.
Thanks,
You guys have a
Ed.
good day.
Thanks,
You
Ed.
too.
Public comment, Larry, do you have public comment, or?
No, nothing to say.
Oh, okay.
Well, I have something for the commission community update. First of all, last week was another one of those 50-hour weeks, and I took Friday off to give you an idea. Had a lot of things happen. There was the county compensation board meeting, and I thought that was really productive. And then what we had was a realization Monday night, just to bring you guys up to speed, that the mills voted on by the public for the hospital 2 years ago did not make it onto the taxes for the citizens this past year. So that was planned on purpose by the hospital district and the THS board so that they would have a double up in 1 year, so that they had a cash flow that they would need running into what's called ICD-10. ICD-10 is
They
a,
did this delivered?
oh yes,
When they voted it, that there
Yeah.
would be 1 year that it would double.
and this was made clear to the voters. This was nothing in the shadows. This was absolutely open. The voters were well aware. It was in all the language. But what they were looking at is what's called ICD-10, and this is where the federal government will withhold Medicare or Medicaid payments for a period of time starting in about October of this year. And so any cause, hospitals, nursing homes will have to have a surplus of money to pay their bills because they're not going to see payment from the feds for a long period of
How
time.
long?
Well, they're saying 6 months. So it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so the hospital was counting on this money. So when it was realized what had happened, everybody started rallying, coming up with ideas, brainstorming. And so we're going to be having a public meeting coming up. It'll be with the hospital district board. They'll need to call when that is. The county can, be there as support to assist at this point, but there's nothing yet for us to do. But there is something for us to learn at this point. There's nothing for us to do at this point. That may change. There's something for us to learn, though. The law requires that special districts come before the Board of County Commissioners once a year, lay out their budget, and put forth their request for however many meals they want.
They didn't do that.
They didn't. No, and they needed to, so did all the other district boards. In the past, I believe that was not a common practice. So, us being a relatively new commission didn't know that. Had that happened, this would never have been lost, these mills. And they weren't lost. But had that happened, everything would have been as it should have been. So, any board, Lower Deep Creek Drainage is a good example. The Three Forks Mosquito District is another example, where just because the citizens vote in a number of mills for a particular entity, if that entity, special district, decides we don't need all these mills, they can opt to mill half, mill none, mill a percentage. Lower Deep Creek Drainage, when they stopped meeting, mills stopped getting levied, as it should be. Three Forks Mosquito last year sent a letter and said we do not need our full mills, we just want 3. So these are things these districts can do. Also, with the law, the county commissioners, even if all those special districts come to us and say, here's our budget, these are the mills that were allotted and we want 100% of them, we can still say, nah, we don't support that, and so we're not going to authorize your mills. That is legally in our purview. Probably not a good practice, probably would violate the public trust. So we probably wouldn't want to do that, but we can legally. The other thing that we can do is just start the 3 years this year instead of last year. So there's a lot of things. That doesn't answer the need to have money on hand to address ICD-10. So that's where we're at, and I wanted you guys to be aware so that if you start hearing any questions, of course the rumor mill I'm sure is up to speed, you guys have some of the facts. So do you have any questions? Did I miss anything?
I guess I'm a little confused. So this wasn't a mistake.
Oh, it was. Absolutely was a mistake. There was a letter, and I have it here, that was sent from the county, Debbie, to the hospital district board. It was sent to all the districts stating, these are the number of mills that will be levied on your behalf this coming year. There was no response collected. Now, the error was Debbie missed the 14.95 mills voted on by the public. The district board missed responding to that letter with the error and didn't come see us with their budget or request. That request would have gone to the clerk and recorder, who missed it as well because the letter didn't come. We also approved those mills, and when we saw the attachment A, also didn't catch. There's 4.34 mills allowed for the hospital permanently. Then there's 14.11 elected by the voters a couple of years ago. Then there was an additional, well, there were 2 lines for the hospital district. That's what we saw. 2 mills, 2 lines. There should have been another line there with 14.95 mills, and we missed it as well. So the error is widely spread, and that's why it's the responsibility of all of us to try and work out a solution to this.
Seems to me like that should have been, it was a voted levy and everything's explained, then why would they even have to submit any of that stuff? It should have.
By law, frankly.
Just like the school submits their budgets to us when they're done. All of those boards do.
And again, how do we know if a board doesn't need all their mills?
We don't.
How do
unless
we
they
know?
communicate.
Yeah, there's a requirement that boards meet so many times. How do we know if they've decided not to meet anymore? So we can't be expected to know everything, so I think that's why the law puts in this requirement, so that we're informed.
Yeah.
So, so if you guys have any questions, please get the facts so that if the rumors do start, we can make sure that people are armed with the facts and we don't just, feed that rumor mill, which can be so destructive to the community. And if any other questions develop during the meeting, please throw those out. Like I said, this has been all-encompassing, a lot of very heated tempers, a lot of fear, a lot of anger, and a lot of brainstorming has gone on this past
So
week.
who are they blaming?
Well, I think everybody's trying to blame somebody in this. The thing is there's enough blame to go around.
Yeah.
But it really is one of those, best practices wasn't followed for years. It should have been, it will be. Debbie has sent a letter, like I said, all the special districts stating this is the law and we'll be following it this year. So, yeah, I don't think there's a blame game that's healthy. There never is.
No.
I think what we need to do is make sure that we continue to work together and figure out a solution that works as best as possible for the community. And that's what we need to keep our eye on.
Part of me finds it hard to understand how they weren't gonna take any mills and they were gonna just hold up and take 2 years of it.
No, the
Am I
citizens.
saying that wrong?
Yeah, the citizens in 2010, I may be mistaken on the years, voted in the revolving 3-year mill levy that's been going on for years and years and years.
Okay.
So fiscal year 13, 14, and 15, the citizens said, yes, we want to pay $120,000 a year in mills to the hospital. Then in 2013, a levy was put through. It was a 3-year emergency levy to help the hospital during this time. And the citizens voted, yes, we want to pay an additional $170 a year for 3 years to support the hospital. So as one goes from 13, 14, 15, the other one goes from 15, 16, 17. It's just 2 levies.
You done?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What I tend compensation board meeting. And it was very productive, very worthwhile. And I also went to the fire, closing out, I guess you'd say, returning the delegation of authority to the local. Nice report. I can't say enough good about those guys. They did a great job. When I think what's happening up in the Flathead with Glacier Park, I just think how lucky we are.
Yeah.
Tuesday and Wednesday I attended medical training workshops in Hamilton.
What ones were they?
Road and budget.
Good.
There's quite a few counties there.
Did Harold keep to the budget one?
Yeah. Anything else from on Dana?
One question real quick. I had to sign that day a return of delegated authority back to the incident commander, the forest supervisor, the area management, and myself. They had to have a commission sign that day, so we need to do it proper,
Sounds good.
so. Otherwise, I was gonna make them stay another week.
You're holding a motion then that,
Well, I think
You
we
had
need to
to
put it
vote.
on the agenda. Would we have to put it on the agenda?
We would, it is on the agenda, it's not legally worded, it's inadequate for details, but it is on the agenda. So,
So we can go
Cabin
ahead.
Gulch fire documents,
It is.
yeah, it's not legally compliant, if we were challenged, we would lose. But it is on the agenda,
I'll make a motion then that we sign.
at 10:45.
Oh, okay. I'll wait. You're on, Dana.
okay, Dana.
All right. We had a little bit of moisture last week where you got some grading done, so that helped out quite a bit. Plain and simple with the, not a lot of moisture and dry and harvest starting, I'm behind, so. I'm sure that you'll be hearing a little here and a little there, so.
When it
If
was
you
so
do, just-
dry, you couldn't be out there with those graders, hitting a rock and starting a fire, could you?
Yeah, I'm not worried about that, you know, it's just, if you blade it, just doesn't do you a lot of good unless you got a water truck.
Yeah, let's show
all the
water,
time.
yeah.
You know, the main roads, we're trying to do that, you know, when we got something, but we're trying to get a bunch of hauling done too right now, and, I mean, I got a bunch of hauling I gotta get done, so. They're down Three Forks today, Price Road, we're putting the top on that first mile of Price Road. It's been giving us fits for years here, and then we're gonna go ahead and mag just to hold it. I mean, if I don't put something on to hold it, we're wasting our time.
You start right at the end of the paving going.
Yeah, just down to Roland Glen, to the Roland Glen subdivision turnoff. Beyond that, it's not too bad. It usually stays pretty darn good, so, you know, most of the houses and most of the people come out of the subdivision, and that's just the way it is, you know. There's a few of them go on up above to the bus turnaround up there, you know, cause they go back into Prices, and then they go back into, that subdivision of, Fulford's there, so. That's not too bad, that stays good, but we're done mowing down there anyway, so, like I say, they're gonna be down there probably all this week, and then we're gonna put another lift of stuff on that Eustis Road. I had a couple conversations with some people down there, you know, not too bad. Gal owns that ground right next to, on the west side of that Eustis Road, going up there across from the subdivision, and she called here last week, and she was complaining about how her, couldn't get into her place. You know, told her the same thing I've been telling everybody else, you know. When we modify the road, you gotta fix your approach, but the problem is, she's never been going in and out of there. There's not one track that's let out into that field. She always goes up to the top and goes through the gate up at the top. Well, for some reason, now that we put some borrowage down on the one side, she figured that messed her up, so. But anyway, she threatened and, just calling the Attorney General and everything else, which she didn't, but I talked to her, got that straightened out, I think, I don't know, but,
You should get cards made with the Attorney General's phone number on it,
well.
to hand out.
I don't even worry about it, I mean, it's just, she's always been going in the top, and I don't know why she all of a sudden had to figure out she wanted to go in through the side, which she never has. Cause she told me she always went in the top.
That isn't farmed or anything, is it grazed?
It's CRP. She said something about going in and spraying some weeds or something, but, her daughter anyway, I don't know, this is an older gal. And, I was polite, I just, but stern, I guess. I'm not gonna back down from what we're doing, not one bit. Like I said, if we wanna start backing down, we're gonna throw our rules right out the window, and we won't worry about it, so. Anyway, got that all kinda handled up. But we are gonna put another lifting material on there and on that one part of Eustis Road, and just make sure we're good. But TJ was up there last week and he bladed up through there to, all the way back to Northwest Energy Microwave. We normally do once a year, some pretty bad washouts and stuff. And they actually, TJ went in ahead of them and ahead of the combines. So, I mean, they were, Flickerman's, they were pretty happy about us going in there, so. But anyway, we got most everything kind of done down that way except for that little bit of hauling and whatnot for now.
Is he walking okay now?
No. I was up at Winston mowing this morning, I got a guy hired, he should start next Monday. He had a couple things he had to finish up, but then he'll come and mow for us, and then he'll go back to his other job, so. Other than that, I mean, I'm just kinda trying to put out some fires, I guess. I don't know, you mentioned that mail carrier out there, Ridgeburg mentioned that Coke Creek Road.
Yeah.
I was out there. I can see where it's a little washboarded from Danny Williams's, just where we put that new pipe in, just over that little bit of a hill, it's washboarded a little bit. And then from there to Toma, it's got some rocks showing up on top of the stuff, but it's not washboarded or anything. I mean, it's pretty good. We need to put some stuff on top of that one little section, but from there on out, there's nothing wrong.
She said it's Larson, the Larson, I don't know which is Larson.
Well, I think Larson's is out
that
there past Toma,
Yeah, that one.
that one house.
Okay, yeah, I was there, it is there by Danny's, it is pretty
Yeah.
much right in there.
Yeah.
But, what was the other one? Lombard.
Yeah, Lombard, I got a call from that guy that was living up in Turner's.
Oh, there's a new person up there now, because
Yeah.
Jack retired. In fact, I think he died.
He did. But, and I don't know, that road there, now, I hope he doesn't start giving us a fit with that road, because I know Jack didn't hardly say a word about that road.
Up the hill, you.
Well, all the way up through there, Jack called maybe once a year, maybe.
Mhm.
We usually try to get up there and get it taken care of, but, like I said, I'm behind it.
I think the part she was talking about was that first, I don't know how far up there she goes, probably to Helms, or I mean to where the Jersey turnout was.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, and I hadn't been out there.
Yeah, and that first part, it is getting pretty rough in there.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, and then, she called me again, she says that all the roads are in bad shape. Yesterday, or not, I don't know what they did, yesterday, day before. I had, somebody call me on the Toss Dam, really wondering how come they only went as far as the cattle guard. And I said, I don't know, I said, maybe they
That's
didn't have
where
time.
Yeah, we didn't have time.
Okay, That's, well, I guess, right, that's one of the things I said,
Yeah.
I didn't know I had.
Yeah, in fact, I went, I'm actually the one that played it. Last week. I'm actually the one that played it, I mean,
I know that lower part was getting pretty bad there.
the lower part was pretty bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about where you.
And I just went, you know, that one day, I did that. I did the first mile on Dry Creek. And then I did all of Flynn Lane from the highway clear to Nelson Lane,
Oh,
which, that's 9 miles of road in 7 hours, you know, so I mean, but I just did what I had moisture for, and that was it, so. But, you know, I don't know, who's complaining about the other end,
on which one?
on Toston Dam?
Well, I've had different ones. One, I was up to that one day, and I don't know who they were campers, I guess. Well, in fact, it must have been they had a boat, and they just jumped me about the road. They didn't know who I was, and I know who they
No.
were. Out to the road.
Out of
I had the back
Out of
one.
towners.
Yeah.
Rob?
I'm sure it's six, most of them are water skiers.
Oh, yeah.
From, I don't know where they're from, Belgrade or Bozeman or someplace.
Yeah, it's like I was talking to Rick Deal this morning up there when I was just getting on the tractor up there this morning to come down here. Willie was up there blading that road the other day, you know, it wasn't terrible, but I mean, it was bad enough he was up there, so we did it, but. I mean, I kid you not, them boats and boat trailers, they are flying down that son of a gun 50 mile an hour, man. Now, I don't have a radar gun with me, but I'll tell you, they're moving.
That's
They're
35.
flat moving. Yeah, it's all 35, but you ain't got nobody up there to say anything, so they just keep on going, you know? And that's the problem with, you know, I know that it's our job to clean the roads up, I understand that. But I wish people would just heed to the signs just a little bit, you know, just a little bit. And you know, them roads would last a whole lot longer. I know that section that Willie did the other day from Cobbins down to Allen Davies down there. I mean, he just did that, I'm gonna say Wednesday. It's already washboard, you know?
Surely they're beating their equipment to death.
Oh, they're beating it to death. They don't care.
That
They don't
stretch
care.
there on Johnson Loop by your old place and stuff, you know, there's been so much traffic coming through there with the construction. You keep that beat up pretty good.
See, I don't, you know, I hear certain people say that, but I don't see a lot of traffic there. The ones I see, and I'll tell you, these pivots, again, I'm gonna go back to the pivots here. That Leonard and Rock Kittle, they have got those roads just flat. I mean, there's a 1/4 mile, man, total wet, total mud, you know? I get to the point, I'm not even gonna touch it until October. You know, and I'm dead serious too, so, I don't know. I just wish they'd quit a little bit, but whatever. But, yeah, I know,
That's meant for somebody else and not for them.
what's that?
That's meant for somebody else and not them.
Well, yeah, there's a few others out there too. So,
Quick, have you had any luck on the crushing, getting
you
any?
know, we got somebody coming in August. So,
This month.
yeah, probably toward the end of August, 1st September. He's really busy right now, and I contacted him when it was first last month, July,
Where's he from?
Dylan,
Was he one that was here before?
yeah.
He
So,
did a good job then, didn't he?
did, really good job,
Mhm.
so, I don't know, I might have to get him down here, I may have to haul some clay into that 6 mile deal, I don't know if there's enough clay there to mix with it,
Mhm.
so,
Whatever, if they hauled in or whatever, last time, they were real good.
they didn't haul nothing in there, but it was,
There was enough clay there that,
yeah. Anyway, it was iffy, I mean, if there was enough, it should have held that Flynn Lane a lot better than it did, but best gravel we have out there right now is Lone Mountain. I mean, it's, that stuff out there we've been putting on the roads that have been real washboardy and stuff. I mean, they're good, I mean, just flat good. And I mean, I don't think we've weighted them since last fall.
How much you got left up there? Yardage wise, just an estimate. You got quite a pile yet?
No.
On your own? Did you go to crush there now then too?
Well, I'm gonna crush 5,000 there, I'll crush 5,000 in 6 Mile, but, yeah, I'm gonna do that, so. Like I said, I'm just hoping we got enough clay in that 6 Mile deal to make things work. But it doesn't help when you get piggybacked off of and everybody wants to buy it. Which I talked to Warren about that a little bit too, so hopefully I'm hoping that he won't. Hoping he'll go along with me and not do that. Because we're gonna run out. This will probably be the last shot right there, so.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I'm surprised you got as much as you have out of there.
Well, yeah.
Without getting solid,
Yeah.
you know, how the, what you had, you've been pretty good.
Yeah, so anyway, that's about it.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yep. Nobody else got any problems?
No.
Everybody's got problems, but.
Not me.
Not working, not working me with.
All right.
Thank you, Dana.
All
Have a good day.
How you doing?
Good. I got problems I don't think you can fix them though.
But if you'd like to try.
I don't even.
I'll give it a try.
Don't even want to.
Okay, 10:30. Sheriff's Office monthly update. Come up, or you there, or however you wanna do it.
Good morning, guys.
How are ya?
Good.
It's Monday again.
You survived the rodeo weekend.
Survived rodeo. Did. I did, yeah. Which is amazing. No, it's been busy though, so I don't know if you, well, obviously everybody's seen it in the news. We've had quite a few things, a few egg assaults. We had two.
Fire.
Fire, so the guy's been busy. Probably saw quite a bit of, you should have saw quite a bit of overtime on the last day, on the last pay period. You'll see a lot on this one as well, trying to get the duty egg assault finished up and done. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Assault of Tony Mystic out of Lifeline to Great Falls. So Andy's been working on trying to get that wrapped up. Dusty's been trying to get the arson case wrapped up. And then, was it Brandon has the gal who decided to pull a knife and cut her boyfriend and then run his head through a glass door. So those three have taken, yeah, it's because he didn't have any drugs, and so she was mad about it, so she decided to move us. So those guys there've been quite a bit of overtime just in those lots. I think there was 3 or 4 patrol guys that were working the fire case along with Dusty and the sheriff, so there's quite a bit of time there. There's quite a bit of time on the duty case. I think Andy's interviewed 20 people, give or take. I just went to the court.
Between the two of us, it's been
Yeah, so, lots of time in, and lots of time. So, just been, it's something in the water in the month of July that added the stupidity level to some folks out there. So, you're gonna see quite an influx there. We do have a shortage of staff. We have 2 on vacation right now, so, that hasn't helped either. So, and, we're losing a dispatcher on the 15th. Mr. Rouser, he took a job at the fishing game. And then, haven't heard on Jason Koselecki. He did apply for a job in Fergus County, so I don't know if he interviewed for it, don't know if he's got it yet, so.
Is he from there?
No. You know, him and, he said here, a few weeks ago, he came in and, said he woke up and he said God was telling him to go to Lewistown, so he went to Lewistown and they looked around and Maria found there's 2 Head Start jobs open over there, and there was a deputy job open over there, so they just went and filled up the app and handed it in, and they drove around and hung out for the weekend, or the weekend, or the day, or whatever, and came back, so, I don't know if it's just a middle point in their life, you start over, right? I don't know, so, it's kind of in limbo, figure out what happens there. So I did talk to Fergus County Friday, and they did have the interview before, so, he's got a 1 in 4 chance to get hired, so. There's 48 folks in the jail, we've been at 48 for about a week now, so, now.
How many are ours? About?
I don't even have a clue.
Probably 6, I'm guessing.
Yeah. We had 17 females. I think we're down to 16 now. But trying to keep the numbers up there. We usually try to keep a bed open. Each housing unit have said no, fill them up. So we're actually over capacity. We're 46 beds. We're at 48. They're ordering 50 meals right now, just because the incidentals that we don't know about. So somebody gets a DUI or an egg assault or whatever, we have a meal available for them. But my thought process is if I can keep it full up until that holiday season when the courts find it necessary to kick everybody out for the holidays, it's not going to be detrimental like it was last year. That significant drop in numbers really took a pretty serious toll on the budget aspect, and it was hard to get to that up to that level again. So I'm trying to keep as full as I can without causing too much agony. And so then when that lull starts, we're gonna be okay still. So because we should have 42 paying customers in there. So that should help tremendously when we only need 25.
I know budgeted 20-something.
I think is what it was.
So is Helena thinking that their mill levy will pass?
It depends what you talk to. You know, I don't foresee it passing. It's now up to 41 million. You know, the first to start out the whole project was 40 million. Now they're up for 41 million just for the jail and the sheriff's office with a $5 million operation budget. And then they wanted $2.5 million to redo the courthouse or the old jail and the courtrooms and everything else. I just don't see Lewis and Clark County biting that apple. I don't see it. I think they're gonna make them go back and revamp it and probably get it to something that's a lot more manageable. Gallatin County's was a $32 million jail, and they're 276 beds, so please tell me why 244 beds is 41 million. So I think there's some things that we could probably cut out of their system that would be okay, but I just don't know. But it seems like a lot of money, and they're getting taxed pretty hard up there already. So,
Well, they said no to the school, and they said no to the fairport. So,
my buddy, he's a captain up there at Lewis and Clark. He's got a 2,500 square foot house on a 1 acre lot. He pays $5,400 a year in taxes. He can't afford, I mean, you're talking big money. That's huge money. And there's a lot of folks in Lewis and Clark County that don't want that. They don't want to have another huge increase. I mean, you'll push them over 6,000 a year. So I just don't see it. I know they have a need for it, but it took Gallatin County 5 years to get it to pass down there. And I know Leo puts a lot of stuff in the paper, and I just don't see where they're gonna accept it. So, they just don't. One of the things that helped Gallatin County is the 8 deaths they had in their facility. When you start forking out that kind of money for in-custody deaths, then you get people's attention. But Lewis and Clark doesn't have that, and so I just don't see it. So.
Hey, have you guys been paid, for last fiscal year's lodging, DOC and all the other counties for June?
I believe we still have about 49,000
Okay.
Yeah, I know there was a check that came in.
unless they've received it. And we just didn't receive the A1s.
Yeah, I know we got the Lewis and Clark one in, but I don't know what that was for. Was that for June? Just came in?
Yeah, they haven't received it downstairs, so it's about February.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
So, other than that, search and rescue's quiet. Thank goodness. I can deal with that. Everything else, seems to be going fine, so. I haven't decided, I know Mike's got a project for, an extra wall. And to separate C and B pod, instead of that tarp. And he's talking about it for a time, and I just don't know how we're gonna do it, because the way he wants to do it is gonna leave a blind spot, for the dispatch. So either way you go, you leave a blind spot somewhere. And so we're still having discussions about where that should be, so.
He's got his other projects done though?
He's still
No,
working on them,
yeah, he's
chipping away.
He's up on the roof today, cleaning all the cooler, the coils on the system, so, he says with the being in there used as much there, they're getting full of dust and dirt, and everywhere else is out there, so he's up there, Flyer's up there cleaning holes right now, I don't know what he's at. Yeah, I guess they cleaned the roof, and I guess we had mold on the roof, so, I guess it happens with moisture, and it gets leaves and whatever else up there, and black mold starts growing on the roof, so they went up and cleaned it. Now it's nice and bright and white, so.
That could have been dangerous.
Yeah. Well, he says it tears apart the roof, that white roof they have up there, whatever it is, I'm not sure what it is. But it breaks away with seams, and so then they'll end up replacing the roof quicker, so. Mike does a good job, he's a good hand, so. So is Eric, so Eric does.
You're a good team.
Yeah, so it's a pleasure to have them both here, so. Other than that, not much going on, so, pretty,
That's enough.
yeah. that's
No,
about-
it's been a quarter since we toured the jail. It was April 30th, so
Oh.
we're about due for
Yep.
another tour.
We're busy, and we did move, I don't know if I told you this last month, I did move, we had such a calling for female prisoners, is I moved, the females started in D-Pod, in the 6 cells, and they got moved over to A-Pod, and where they had 8 cells, now they're in B-Pod, where there's 16 beds. So, I keep moving them, I'll probably keep them where they're at right now. Female offenders are just going through the roof, and no one has a space for them, so, we're housing for Elkhorn, we're housing for Passages, we're housing for, I think we got somebody in Yellowstone County, and so, I'm hoping our numbers stay pretty good, and one of my issues is I don't know what's gonna happen with the DOC thing. So there's some counties that are appealing the cap that DOC snuck in legislation. And so they snuck it in on the last day, I think is what it was, where they did some sort of legislation where they said, okay, the most we're gonna pay is $69 a day, regardless of the facility. And so I know the big 7 are all going, hey, time out here. And so I'm kind of waiting to see how that plays out, because then that might, if that doesn't go away or change or modify, that might keep those big ones going, okay, I'm gonna ship them off somewhere else, and that might keep our numbers up, to where we're doing for everybody. Is what I'm hoping, but there hasn't been a huge move in the DOC prisoners right now. I think because of that appeal, they're just waiting to see, I think, how that pans out before they make any big adjustments. But I know when Sheriff Linders, he kicked a few out as soon as that law passed. So he got rid of a few of them. So I just don't know if that's going to keep us on the right track. So
Well, and y'all know I've been around legislature for a long time. You better watch that last day. That is the critical one.
and no one even saw it coming. I talked to Jim Smith. I was up in a meeting over retirement, the SRS retirement system. We had a meeting in this POA office with the folks from MPRA, and that was one of the things that Jim said, because no one knew that was even there, and it was and I knew where they snuck it in at, they snuck it in a different mill, and Jim goes, didn't think about it. And Jim's pretty smart, he's, you know, he's on top of it, and so is Kathy, and, it just, we got one by us, so. It is what it is, politics,
It's
so,
not surprising.
yeah.
And talking about the Department of Corrections, they sent it over a new contract. I took it over to Corey last week.
Oh, did you get my email on that?
No.
I forwarded an email from Pat Ruse on that before, because there was something about DOC's changed their contract and,
It's got the same pay amount for us. But I would like you, all three, to take a look at that contract. They put me as the signatory, but I would prefer if you would all take a look at the contract. Corey's got it on his desk.
Are you saying you want all three of us to sign it then?
Well, just, I want you all three to look at it and get your initial, at least so you look at it.
Could you email it to us?
It's in hard form.
Oh, okay, all right. Could you give us a hard copy?
I can do it either way, or
I can go grab it right now. I'll just make copies.
there's two copies of it.
Okay.
I wanted to make you aware of it. I took it to Corey for review.
Does it look like there are many changes?
There, it looks pretty similar to the last ones.
Pretty standard?
Yeah, but usually they have you guys sign off on it. Yep. You know, the one year they had me sign off on it, and then they sent it back to you guys after that. That's why I thought it was odd that they sent it to me.
And we should all sign it because you manage, we own.
Yeah, that's why I
So
thought it was
we're
odd
just-
that they just put my name on it, and I explained that to Corey,
Oh, good, okay.
you know.
Typical. I think they're both the same, aren't they?
Yeah, they're both the same.
You want to start reading?
Yeah, any other comments about it?
Give it to Ann.
That
Would
one.
you like some copies of this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks, Ann.
Or if you guys wanna just take both copies and maybe read through it too, and I'll leave both copies with you guys. I think it would be a good thing for all three of you to sign off on it, and then just return it to me. And before I sign off on it, I'll make sure Corey goes through it.
He did, he said he was good to go.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
I think it's a good deal for everybody to sign off on it. That way we know.
I'd like to attach an official signature page too, so it's not just
Yeah.
willy-nilly for
Yeah,
commissioner
that's-
sign too.
So if it's all right with everyone, I will make 3 copies. I will take this package back to Corey.
Okay,
Thanks.
Yeah, that'd be,
For everybody.
yeah, that way we can.
and then we'll attach the signature page for the commissioners to it, and then I'll mail it in.
The other thing I was gonna tell you is that I assigned Seth Wenzel to working at a DTF day.
A what?
A drug
Drug
task
task
force
force.
day. Went to the DTF meeting in Bozeman last month and found out that Broward County has been quite the hotbed, and they seized 7 pounds of meth from our county in the last quarter, so April to June. That's not counting everything else. Didn't know about it, didn't know they were here playing. One of the shipments they picked up was 6.5 pounds. And then the other one was a half pound. So,
So, what would 6.5 pounds look like?
well, a pound is, I mean, normally you find a pound about that long, about that big around.
Times 6, huh?
Yeah, and with a huge value, so, you know, right now, you know, they're painting between $160 and $200 a gram. So there's 449 grams to a pound, so obviously a lot of money attached to it. So it's, that whole issue is now, we have, my brother who's a DTF, he comes down, he's working here, and then the guys at Helena have been down here quite a bit. I know the guys out of Three Forks, or in Gallatin are coming up to Three Forks area quite a bit, so I'm getting Seth one day a week in there, as just a kind of learn how he goes, and see how things work. We don't have, we could probably keep him busy all the time with it, but I think it's a good starting point. You know, it was with Tim and Daryl, we had DTF paid for a day and we paid for a day, and it seemed like we never saw them, they were always off somewhere else. And so Seth knows that I'm looking for localized, I want our problems resolved here. I understand Bolton's got a problem, I understand Helen's got a problem, we have a huge problem. And I need somebody in there to take action on what's going on in our county, in our town, not worried about Livingston, and everything else. So hopefully now people understand that those big 1 pound buys that occur in Lewis and Clark County and Gallatin County, they're happening right here as well. So don't think you have to go somewhere else to get that kind of excitement. It's all right here. So he's, I think, when he comes back from vacation, he took the youth group down to Louisville. Is that what he went?
Tennessee, isn't it?
Tennessee. And they went down to the Creation Museum. They took the youth group down there. So when he comes back, he will start with he's going to be hooked to my brother's hip for 1 day out of the week. So it should hopefully work out.
Do we still belong to the Missouri River
Oh,
Trout
yeah.
Task Force?
Yeah. We just had anybody assigned to it. You know, and that's kind of what I was getting at. Is, you know, when we had Tim there, Tim was always off doing something somewhere, and he made some good cases, but he didn't really do anything locally. And so a lot of the stuff that happened here just, you know, never got dealt with. And then we put Daryl in, and Daryl started out trying to deal with the local stuff, and then he just got more excited about going and kicking doors in Bozeman or Livingston, so he was always down there. And we never saw anything here, and then his numbers just kept dwindling. And so when you're only turning in, the 4 cases you're turning in are the ones the patrol guys got for possession or whatever else, that's what he was turning in. For the amount of time we're devoting to this, and that's the result that we have, it's just, so we're not gonna fill it until we have somebody that we think is capable of doing it. And it's gonna do it the way we want it done, so.
You know, the public has been saying for a long time, oh, drugs aren't bad anymore. Baloney.
Yeah.
They're out of control.
And there's so, well, you think, you know, well, all 3 of those big cases I talked about are all have a drug nexus to it, every one of them. And so, you know, that's what we're finding is these crimes do have either a possession or a consumption aspect of an illegal narcotic in their system. So it's, you can't tell me that we're not seeing this, the violent crimes because of the drug problem. So, you know, to top it off, we still have a huge prescription pill problem. You know, that's there, the mess here, the coke's here, you
Tell
know.
me how they get them,
What's that?
the prescription drugs.
Walk into the doctor.
Yeah, there's doctors that just, yep.
Really?
Yeah.
I slipped and fell. I was lifting something hurt my back. I mean, and there's no test to check to see what back pain looks like. So, and then, you know, you got, no
And
lot
then
of
they tried to
time.
give me 3 prescriptions, and I had to tell the doctor, I'm allergic to all 3 of those, I don't want anything. It's like, what, I'm allergic to it, and I don't want them to be none of it. And they kept trying, you know, no, I don't want them.
You know, with Bob's surgeries, he said, it just makes him loopy. He refuses to take them. It dries his mouth something fierce.
And he kept going, well, what are you gonna take? I don't know, maybe coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're gonna be miserable. Well, I'd rather be miserable than sicker.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll live. It doesn't last forever.
Wow.
kind of remember, guys, what else should be, maybe I take more to bring up now, or?
I don't know. Do you guys have any questions for us at this point?
Not right now.
I'm at 9265 if you deal.
6-4.
64 for, no. All
Hmm.
right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Yours
you.
was 10:40.
That'll work too? I get that with me.
Okay, Mike, running a little behind here.
Well, I'll make it quick.
Okay.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Just a couple closeout business here on this fire. I talked to the ranger, Corey Llewellyn, this morning. And he said last Friday they had a little smoke in one area, came up from there, but over the weekend it did really well. What I prepared for you was just a draft resolution here, to kind of look at, type this out. I don't know if anybody else got it. You here for the paper?
No, I'm here.
He's starting to campaign.
Okay, well, we won't go there.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, you can read that out.
This is pretty much the same language as we had on the other one.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Just to kind of close it out.
Mhm.
And then they also had to be this one, the return of delegated authority.
I deal that with that in the last whereas. Just kind of reaffirm. Laura found some mistakes already.
A little one, the fire was stated up Deep Creek Canyon, first
Oh,
line.
started.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. I've got it on thumb drive, I can reprint this downstairs. There may be others. I meant to email this to you last week.
Third one jointly should be signed, not singed.
Well, thank you.
With a fire, it might be singed.
Yeah, maybe it was. My fingers are dyslexic too, so.
I don't know anybody that can spell that wrong as many times as I can. It's T-E-H.
So, what?
What I want you to do is just kind of look at it.
Mhm.
I'll bring you back a corrected copy. And we're just finishing out on that fire. Everything's fine. Basically what this does is just reaffirms your actions you took outside of the public meeting because of the nature of the emergency and things that had to be done. And I think there shouldn't be any cost to the county at all.
What's the total bill right now, though?
Well, that's not.
Okay, do you want to get back on the agenda with this then?
No, I can bring this back and you can sign this afternoon, I imagine.
Oh, okay.
I'll go downstairs and use the computer.
Since it's in the form of a resolution,
Yes.
resolutions should be preceded by a public hearing.
Oh, okay. Do you want to do it differently, in a different method?
I think if we're gonna do a resolution, we should have a public hearing, which
Okay.
means advertising and putting it on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
If we do just I don't know if it's legal to do
Just a
just a
motion.
memo.
Just a motion?
Yeah, but if we sign a resolution, we have to, I think we have to follow the resolution process.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm
So
not
if
familiar
this
with that.
were,
Maybe you just want to, just make a motion and close it out. Just
Or-
reaffirm what you have done already. We talked
yeah,
about that last
although
week.
we have to have it on the agenda to sign the declaration that we already signed.
Oh, okay.
So that has to be done, and then if we rescind it because it's over, then we sign that. I don't know that we need to do this, but if we do wanna do it for clarity, I think we need to follow the process.
Sure. Just an idea, I
I
don't know.
mean, this is nice and clean.
It is, absolutely. So, yeah, it's fine by me. Do you have another copy too of that declaration? So
Oh,
that
sure.
we can get it recorded with Ann?
Well, this is the authority for, but it's not an original copy. The original copy the Forest Service kept. This is the delegation authority.
How about the other one with the 3 signatures on it?
And then this one, you signed a letter for Ted, me, same thing. They kept the original.
But you couldn't record it for the county because you didn't have an original.
But if you make a copy of that on the, letterhead, all of you sign it so we have original signatures,
Okay.
then it can be recorded.
Yeah, and that's all that's needed. We could still do this again for clarity.
Okay.
So it's,
Okay, you
One
want
way
me
or
to
the
prepare
other's
this
fine.
on print it on, just put it on their original station, color station. Okay, and then
without the signatures.
without the signatures, okay, I've got that. And then on this resolution, you want to put on the agenda for next week. Okay,
Or, I think what we could do is table this agenda item till next week, which is correct the wording, so that we're in compliance.
sure.
And if you guys decide you want the resolution, then we need to have a public hearing and advertise, legal advertisement. So,
Well, whatever session we get written on the agenda.
Sure, that's up to the commission. I'm just here as staff. Supporting it. I just, didn't know what process was going. We didn't declare an emergency because it really wasn't affect that much community. Just the wildfire process is a little bit different, like in a flood or a tornado or something. Because through your county cooperative program, you signed up with UNRC, you just got, in that agreement, just that you have to send a letter in 48 hours, and that's what you did. And then with the cooperation with the Forest Service, you signed that delegation authority. And with all the Forest Service and the UNRC. And I'm just basically here to, say, here to support you whatever way you want.
hey, Mike, the rescinding document, that's a document to rescind the,
Right, and Lane
Delegation
signed that on
authority,
behalf of
right?
the commission, yes.
I just want the wording for the agenda.
What do you have? You got it right here, do you?
Right there.
Here it is.
Return of delegated authority. Okay, so that's what you need for the agenda, Franklin. And then,
This is
you
signed.
will just table
I
it
made a
for next
copy.
week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very good. You sign on behalf of the county. Okay.
You want to take it to make a copy?
Yeah, I'll take it downstairs, make a copy. And then I'll print out we'll do all this, I'll bring this back today. But I'll do all this next week, be on the agenda. Also want to be on the agenda next week for my EMPG grant, stands for Emergency Management Performance Grant. We put in an application in April, which you approved, sent that in, and they have now want us to apply online. Today is supposed to be the day we're gonna go live with that online process, which is, Mia's helping me, we've been putting our stuff together.
Very
And then
good.
there's some documents there we should have done by next week, the commissioners should sign. And that'll be probably approval, I think, it should be EMPG grant approval process. And there'll be, commissioners have to vote on that, you'll look at my application and the projects I propose. And then we submit that, and then Montana DES takes that, bundles it up with all 56 counties and sends it to the feds. Montana DES has already received several million, $3.5 million for EMPG program. It funds half of their staff over in Helena for, and it'll cover half of my budget, of my cost. And so we're just going through that formal process
On the
with the
agenda
county and the state.
for next week.
Yes, I've asked Franklin to put that on the.
Yeah, it's gonna be on there, it's over here. What is, how is that, what is that worded for this declaration here?
What
Was that one?
Yeah, for the Cabin Gulch fire, we want you want to do a resolution, commissioners, or do you want to just put it on it and make a motion?
I think we can make a motion and.
You know, personally, I like the resolution.
Okay,
Then we should put
You know, I know
resolution
it's-
concerning,
Right, it's not, but-
what do we tell this, it says a resolution relating to Cabin Gulch fire.
Mhm.
I would put that on the minutes, or on the agenda, excuse me.
And I know it probably isn't necessary, but it's just a cleaner way.
Franklin, there'll have to be a hearing on it first and then a decision.
Right, but we'd have that,
There'll be two items, okay,
Public hearing.
on the resolution relating to the Cabin Gulch fire.
Just,
To
I'm
adopt,
gonna let you write it down.
Franklin, it needs to say public hearing.
Actually, I just have public as far as I have written there.
Okay, you want public hearing to adopt?
Yeah, it needs to tell us why we're having the public hearing. Public hearing is to adopt
Okay,
a resolution on the Cabin Gulch fire.
Darn it, I didn't ask, and I thought it would be hearing.
And that should just be 15 minutes, and then we need to have, same wording, decision to adopt resolution on Cabin Gulch fire.
Can you just extend it on that line as far as?
well, let's see, we've taken up, you got 10 o'clock, 10:15, you put me on 10:30, and you've got 10:45 taken up. So we'll have to put it at 11. Okay?
That'll work.
Okay, so it'd be,
Decision to
Okay.
adopt resolution for Cabin Gulch fire. And then Mike, if you put a slash,
okay,
and then we'll add these tabled items.
okay,
We don't need to restate Cabin Gulch fire, but we do need to have, delegation, sign documents,
well, okay, signed documents, okay,
for delegation of authority. I'm sorry, not signed, approved documents,
okay,
because they're already signed. Sorry, Mike. Do you need an eraser?
even better, right, this is pretty hard.
There you go.
Thank you.
Approve,
This is better.
and you can even cross out documents.
Okay,
Approve delegation of authority
okay,
and return of delegated authority.
okay.
That should be pretty clear.
We put approved and return delegation authority.
Yeah, perfect. Then we don't have to say it twice, I like that.
I'm just running out of line.
Yeah.
Okay, and then right under that, I'll put, DES.
Should be
EMPG.
Mike Conkey, comma, DES.
Okay. All of these policies. And then we'll put EMPG grant approval.
Yes.
Okay,
Put EMPG grant decision. That
Okay.
way we have the ability to act.
okay.
Because we could approve or deny, depending on how much coffee we have.
There you go. I'm not bring much coffee. How about ice? That will be at 11:15. Is that okay? You're familiar with this process? I'm not, it's just all new to me, but I'm learning.
Couldn't have been done better. Thank you.
Uh-oh, now they want me to do it all the time.
I know, yeah, you're hired.
I didn't know you were hired. I will return this in a few minutes. That was a nice thing, quick talk.
Did you get the 2 edits?
I did, I do now, okay. And I'll have those, I'll email that to you in a Word document.
Okay,
That other one, I'll email you in a Word document, and then you'll put it on your station.
perfect.
And then,
We can do that.
okay, very good. Anything else for me? Everything's going good? A lot of paperwork with these grants. It's a new piece of work.
A lot of paperwork.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
You bet, thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
That's it for me.
You too.
It's all yours.
Nicole.
Good morning. Good morning.
So I am back today with a job description per your request a few weeks ago. When I came to you requesting to change my department and title. So I am requesting a job title of Community Development Director and a department title of Community Development Department, as opposed to planning or planning and rural addressing or planning and GIS. I feel that this just more encompasses everything that I'm doing. And I'll give you my copy here before I leave. I only need 3, but I don't need as many copies, just one for there, just in case. Any question?
Did you use the Mako template too for this, or is this?
I did not. This is a template that I had been using previously in my office from when I went from planning administrator to planner. And then I just used the same template. I wasn't aware that there was a Mako template to be using. So I've just been kind of expanding on this one that I've had in my files.
This will work?
You certainly have a lot of hats to wear.
I like hats. It's okay.
Good.
Do you have the newsletter in here?
You know, I realized that a little bit ago. No, I don't have that in there.
Oh, yeah.
I should probably add that too.
All right.
Probably to the miscellaneous section. I would imagine that might be the best place for it.
Either that or planner. You know, you should have a category that says community development, and it should go under there.
Sure.
Yeah.
So maybe instead of miscellaneous, just because I don't like that word miscellaneous.
Yeah.
It's pretty boring.
Well, it's all encompassing.
Right. And I can change this. I just thought it would be a little, well, it's been more convenient for me to plug things into these different areas, and that's why I have it broken out into different sectors of my job, planner, GIS, rural addressing, things like that. But on the miscellaneous, I just didn't know what to catch in there, but community development, I can change the wording.
Can I also ask another change? Planning board is not your supervisor.
The
They
planning
are-
board is the supervisor of the planner, according to MCA. And so it wouldn't necessarily fit for community development, but I left it in there because I wasn't sure. I don't want this to be broken out into different functions, but I think you're right that the planning board, and I apologize for interrupting you, shouldn't be a supervisor in this capacity if I'm looking to go from planning to community development. But then on the other hand, planning board is I serve at the pleasure of the planning board in my capacity as planner. Also, I serve at the pleasure of the commission in my capacity of all parts of my job, so I wasn't sure how to work that in there.
The hard part is the planning board is an advisory board. So they really, even if they were, and maybe we need to address this, but if it does say in MCA that they are your supervisor, then we have a conflict there because they have no authority, because they're advisory. So just in the interest of clarity, since you are changing from community development, maybe that could be reworded to something like, under the direction of the commissioners, county commissioners, with the support, in concert with the planning board.
Okay,
They definitely should be involved. They are definitely a very strong partner. But we might need more in that. I don't know that we need more in there to define it, but I think we certainly need less. Because you're not under their direction, especially as a community developer.
Right.
And the rest of it, I'm just not sure how that's supposed to work. Dan Clark is going to be coming and giving a board training countywide, and that might be something for him to address. He's addressed it to me in email, but it should be addressed for all to hear how that works, because you're not the only one. We have a weed board, we have a solid waste board. How do all those work with their people?
Mhm.
So, if that's okay, a
Definitely.
long-winded request, mostly because I was just thinking it. I'm wondering if we could actually, not necessarily, excuse me, table this, but adopt it with changes like next week, unless you guys are ready to adopt now with the verbal changes, which it's a living document. We could do that, although we should fill in salary for a new job description.
Well, for the public's sake, I think we let them have a week to look at it.
Good, okay. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, yeah, I'm certainly in a rush. I will be here doing these functions
Yes.
regardless of my title, it just seemed to
So it'll have to
fit.
go on the agenda.
Okay, so, how do you want it worded on there then?
What was it worded as today?
I think the same wording.
Yeah, county
Yeah.
planner, change job title, and,
Department description?
Yep.
Okay, we'll just leave that the same then.
yep.
Okay.
And I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I just think the public needs to have that chance.
I agree with you, I'm glad you said that. I agree, I would like a week to look this over.
Certainly.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a good move, and I think it does more accurately define what you do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the title of planning department is a bit misleading in that folks think it's only subdivision, and it's not. So,
No,
it's more, like I said, I'll be doing the work regardless of, you know, call me the toilet scrubber. I don't care, I'll be doing the same work. But I think that, you know, to more accurately define what my department does, and not just for myself, but moving forward, it just makes it a little easier for the public.
absolutely. Did you put grant writing on here too?
I did not. I turned in my first grant last week. I'm very optimistic.
It's a good grant.
I hope I get it.
Yeah, maybe we better put that on.
I'll add it as well.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thanks, my dear.
Also, while I'm here, I'll put a note on my door, but I'll be out every morning this week. Our church is doing Vacation Bible School, and I'm the Imagination Station Director, so I will be there every morning this week, but I'll be in the office the afternoons and later, so.
Thank
I'll make
you.
sure my phone and door accurately describe where I am.
Okay. BOR recreational land acquisition, building project for extension, repair, research, rescue, rural city. Okay, what's,
Has the city made a decision, or is that not until tomorrow night?
That is tomorrow, but the BOR decision, first off, that is what we talked about a couple months ago and signed a letter with the city that we were agreeable and willing and interested in working with the city to have, back up a little bit, Steve McCullough of the trust board talked with the rest of the trust board, and as a board, They hired Mia Whitfield to start the process of acquiring BOR property. The BOR property used to be the county poor farm, which is right kitty corner, diagonal from RY Timber. It's the ball fields and it's the golf course and Rod and Gun Club properties. It's owned by BOR. A portion of it is currently on a long-term lease with the city that expires in about 8 years. So BOR a couple years ago said, we would give you the property. So the trust board tasked Mia with going through the process. It's about a 2-year process, but what she found is they're actually interested right now in jumping and moving forward. So what she would like to know is how the city and the county would like to work together on this. It would probably be wise, in the discussions with the trust board, they suggest that the property be co-owned, county and city. We have a good relationship together, we work well together, and it's for the community, which it doesn't have lines drawn as far as if a person lives in the city limits or out of it. This is for the citizens of the community. So with that in mind, they would like a formal vote of the county and then of the city that we are agreeable to working on this project together. So in that interest, I do have a motion and I wrote it for Ann. A move to support the land acquisition project with the city of Townsend for currently owned BOR property in the interest of using it to enhance, increase, and grow recreational opportunities for local and visiting families, children, and individuals.
You know, the fairgrounds is jointly owned.
Yeah, absolutely. And it works very well.
Oh, yeah. So is that a motion?
It is.
Second.
Okay, we move second, the motion as stated. Any more discussion? Okay. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Motion passed.
And then the second part of that is, talking with the trust board, they suggest, and the city, we've talked to the mayor and me and Mia and Steve talked about this, having a board formed that can kind of have oversight and be the most intimately involved. The suggestion was 2 from the county, and then 3 from the city. Or we could do like the Fair and Rodeo Club a couple years ago, 2 from the county, 2 from the city, and 1 at large, appointed by both. And we could also have where everyone agrees on the membership of the board, so you don't have, if we get into a situation where we don't have a positive working relationship, we don't have people put on that would continue that animosity. We can all agree on whoever's on the board so that we have a cohesive, constructive group working for the benefit, again, of the community, not of either entity.
Well, if we're not a big community, we need to all work together on projects.
Yeah,
It's not his project, her project, or their project. It's everybody's project.
right, absolutely.
But we do, pressure, wait till the city decides what they're gonna do.
No, they want a proposal from us, Franklin, and that's why it's on their agenda for tomorrow. So what I'd like to know from the commission is, what is our pleasure? It shouldn't just be my decision, and that's why I'd like some input on some of those different suggestions thrown out.
Well, I like going to the city ground on the drive pivot corner.
No, this is the ballparks, the golf course,
Oh, okay.
Rod
I
and Gun,
misunderstood.
and the 10 acres right next to Charlie's property. That's better. It's the block of Charlie Reagan's property, it's the northeast corner. We've already agreed we're gonna support it. And however we can use that property to increase recreational opportunities. So do we, A, support a board to be the entity that would kind of manage this property, and I hope put together some kind of a comprehensive recreational plan for the community. Do we support a board? If we do support a board, do we support the idea thrown out by the trust board of 2 from the county, 3 from the city? Do we support a counter proposal of 2 from the county, 2 from the city, and 1 at large? Or do we support a third option of 2 from the city, 2 from the county, 1 at large, with all approved by all? Majority vote of both the county commission and the city council.
I like number 3.
Okay. Franklin?
I think, let the trust board come forth with what they're gonna have here for sure. I mean, I think we're jumping ahead a little bit, aren't we, to it? Not that I'm disagreeing with it, but,
Actually, you're just way behind. No, we're not jumping ahead. Like I said, BOR.
we don't know if the city, assuming
If I
they're
can
gonna go
finish,
with
it might help clarify things for you.
Try it.
Hopefully. BOR and Mia Whitfield, who again has been hired by the trust board to head this up. So this is their project. We've already signed a letter jointly with the city that we support this idea, this project, following through with it. We already have feedback from BOR that they expect this to be a 2-year process. So we all, a couple months ago, just kind of sat back and thought, okay, we're just gonna wait for the feds, because they take a while. So again, Mia, in conversations with BOR, got notice that they're actually gonna start motoring through this. This is going to start now. What she needs in order to communicate with BOR is what the city and the county are willing to do jointly for this. So that's why we need a proposal to the city that this is what the county would like to do. Tomorrow night, the city council is going to ask, what does the county want to do? And without some kind of a formal vote, and that's why it's on the agenda, there isn't an answer. So in order to give an answer to the city council, we need to have discussed this, talked about what we think is best for the community, and have that to deliver to the city council. It's not to say it can't change or be negotiated, but we need a starting point.
So what we would want done with each one of those parcels of land?
No, how we want to manage it.
Oh, all right.
How we want to management, in my opinion, needs to be, in my opinion, in the trust board's opinion, and Mia's opinion, needs to be a board made up of citizens with an interest in this area that then report to both the city and the county. Therefore, representatives from both the city and the county are a good idea. But you can't have a board of 4, 2 from the city, 2 from the county. So how do you figure out that odd person that makes it a board of 5?
That's why I think we need some feedback on it, see what the city wants. Trust board might have to have a meeting with all 3 or something. But at this point, we're just, I don't know, we're just not doing it.
Okay, I move that we go with what Elaine's feedback was, option number 3. That the county propose a board to govern and assist in the direction and management of the BOR property if it becomes county and city property. Board made up of 2 from the city, 2 from the county, 1 at large, and all members approved by a majority vote of both the county commission and the city council.
Amen.
All right.
Second.
I think we're still, we need more information, really, the way I feel on it.
I think what you're looking for, Franklin, is more information from somebody other than me, but I'm the only one you have this from at this time, unless Nicole wants to tell the same story. But this is not Nicole's project or a planning project, this is a trust board project. So if you would like
That's why we need to hear more from
to
the trust
call,
board themselves.
then you can call them and find this out. This has been on the agenda, it's been discussed at least 3 times in the near past. delaying tactics are getting us nowhere and costing us money. I call for the question.
Okay. All in favor of that
Aye.
motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Me.
All right, I will type this up. I have the motion ready for city council, and I'll type up our suggestion with the 2-1 vote on that. Next to the building project for 4-H Extension Fair Week, Search and Rescue. This is another proposal to offer to the city, and this is the pivot corner that you were asking about, Elaine. This is the drawing, and the two buildings, this will be the little office building here, and this will be the search and rescue. They are going to be, at this point, well away from Joe's Pivot here. So it is just here at the entryway and will not interfere with any farming at all. So, it was guesstimated the property was 9 acres. It's actually 12.5. So a little bit more than we thought.
Does that count going down this way?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, I brought a proposal that was given to the city council here not too long ago, that was just my proposal, just so that they had it in writing, so they had something to follow. And it's possible I forgot that, but I hope not.
Is this an extra?
No, it isn't, but I can make you copies. In fact, I can make you one with the building. This is the lease, if you guys wanna see it for the BOR property. Oh, I don't have the proposal, but, I can run down and get it if you want. I'll tell you what it was on it though. It was very simple. It just reiterated what the process has been. It reiterated what the needs are, and why we're even looking at this. It did state that we would do everything in our power and put this in writing or whatever we need to, so that we do not hinder Joe Nelson's leased ground here from the city. That is absolutely not something we want to do.
No.
So this would define, this survey defines what the property is. We would be happy to fence. We would be happy to have a weed plan, and I've already worked with Scott on that, to make sure that absolutely nothing we do hinders Joe in any way, shape, or form. But the other thing that was offered in the proposal that we need to talk about goes to making sure that we maintain as positive a relationship with the city as we can, which for some reason seems to be a bit rocky right now, and I don't know why. But my proposal offered to pay an annual lease or payment to the city for this property that we are looking to annex into joint city-county ownership. So we're not looking to take it away in any way, we're just looking to share it, annex it, so that we can implement this building project.
And what would that cost?
Joe is leasing his 50 acres for $5,000 a year. I propose the same amount, $5,000 a year. The city has been having a hard time with the swimming pool, and the fact that it serves county kids and they don't feel that we're paying our fair share. The idea would be that that money could be used by the city in support of the swimming pool, as it wouldn't be needed at all for this project, maintenance of the land or anything else. So it would just be a payment for this process, for their time into it, that they could use as they need to for the city, which of course is in Broadway County.
City hasn't made a decision yet, have they?
No, they haven't. But again, when they ask the county, have you talked to the rest of the commission about this, it's important to have an affirmative answer. Yes, this is what we talked about. So this needs to be done first so that we don't have further delays.
Why is this right here kind of squared off funny?
This is a rectangular piece that on cadastral and some of the documents we have that said it was a county piece in the midst of all the city property. And so it's separated. Shawvers did the survey, they cannot find anything that says it's county property. I did double check with Ann, who said she can't find anything that says it's county property. So it appears that this is probably city property. So we actually lost 2.9 acres in this process, which will make the city very happy, I would think. So this is a rectangle that really doesn't need to be there.
No,